Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a pretty unique investment model, one that's all about giving its members a key to a world of investing that's usually locked up tight. So, let me ask you this. Ever get that feeling that the really good investment deals, the ones with the massive potential, are all happening somewhere you can't see, behind some closed door? Well, if you feel that way, you're not imagining things. A lot of opportunities, we're talking about things like private real estate developments or secured corporate bonds, are often kept for a very small circle of big institutions or super connected people. Most of us are just left on the outside looking in. But what if there was a different way to play the game? Today, we're going to dig into one model that was built to tackle this exact problem. It's called a closed private investment network, or CPIN for short, and it's built on a foundation of community. So what is a CPIN, really? Well, at its core, it's an exclusive, invite-only club. But the key phrase here is cooperative group economics. That's just a fancy way of saying it's not about just making a quick buck for yourself. It's about the entire group working together to grow their wealth together. And get a load of this. I mean, when's the last time you saw words like love, trust, and unity in any kind of investment document? This really tells you everything you need to know. The idea is to build a tight-knit community based on shared values first, and then operate as a financial platform second. Okay, so let's talk roles. It's pretty simple, actually. You've got two main players. First is the general partner, the GP. They're the ones finding and managing the investments. Then you have the limited partners, or LPs, and that's the members, the people who actually invest the money. So one person manages the deal, the others fund it. So if you're one of those investors, an LP, what does that journey actually look like? How do you go from joining this thing to actually seeing a return? The path for an investor is a pretty clear four-step process. First, it all starts with a trusted invitation. You can't just sign up. Once you're in and onboarded, you get to see a curated list of investment deals. Then, you choose a deal and invest, usually through something called an SPV, and then, if the investment pays off, the profits get distributed. Now, that term SPV might sound like some complicated Wall Street jargon, but it's really not. Just think of a special purpose vehicle as a dedicated piggy bank. For every single investment, the network creates a brand new, separate little company. It keeps every deal totally separate, clean, and legally self-contained. Pretty smart. So how is all this legal and private? Well, it all works because of a specific rule in securities law. In plain English, it means that as long as they don't advertise to the general public, and they only offer these deals to a select group of members who already know each other, they can do it privately. This legal framework is the very thing that keeps the closed private investment network. All right, now for the part everybody really wants to know about, the money. If an investment hits, how do the profits actually get shared? What's the breakdown look like? This is a really key feature. It's called a preferred return. And what it means is that the investors, the LPs, get their initial money back plus a pre-agreed slice of the profits before the manager, the GP, gets to take their big cut. It's an investor-first model, which is pretty cool. And here is the headline number. When a deal pays out, 80% of the investor's gross profit goes directly back to them as net profit. That is a very significant slice of the pie. So what happens to that other 20% of the profit? Well, this is where that community stuff comes back in. 10% is donated to a nonprofit that the investor picks. 9% goes back into the referral network, rewarding the people who brought other trusted members in. And only 1% is for admin. It's designed to be this self-sustaining, full-circle economy. You see how this whole profit structure is built to create trust? The manager's pay is tied directly to performance. They only make serious money after the investors make their money. Their interests are perfectly aligned. This is what motivates the manager to go out and find the absolute best deals for everyone. Okay, so we've seen how it all works on the inside, but let's go back to that whole closed thing, the exclusivity. How does somebody actually get past the velvet rope and join a network like this?
Yeah, the entrance requirements are no joke, and that's on purpose. You have to be invited by a current member and someone you already have a real relationship with. Then you have to go through some education to show you're a sophisticated investor who understands the risks. And finally, the main club has to give you the final okay. Every single step is there to protect that core of trust.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. That exclusivity, it's not about being elitist. It's about being effective. As the source material says, this commitment to community-driven growth is the secret sauce. It makes sure that everyone in the room is on the same page with the same vision and the same values.
So all of this leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on. The CPNI model, it blends that exclusive access with this idea of cooperative community. So as more and more of us are looking for different ways to build wealth together, you have to wonder, could these kinds of trust-based networks be a glimpse into the future? That's something to think about.